In the remote village of Aigun, nestled among the hills and thick forests, lived a woman named Amara. She was known for her beauty, her strength, and her kindness. People spoke of her warmth, her gentle smile, and how her laughter could light up the darkest corners of the village. But there was one thing that many did not know. Amara had a sister, Neoma, who was her opposite in many ways. Neoma was clever, cunning, and driven by desires of wealth and power. The two sisters grew up together, but their paths diverged as they grew older. While Amara remained grounded in the traditions of their people, and Neoma secretly harbored a deep resentment toward her. Amara's beauty was not just admired by the villagers, but also sought after by the men in the neighboring villages. But it was Kofi, a wealthy and powerful man, who set his sights on her. Kofi's family had vast lands, livestock, and a reputation that extended beyond the hills of Aigun. His proposal to Amara was grand, and for a girl of her humble background, it seemed like a dream come true. However, Amara's heart wasn't completely aligned with the idea of marrying Kofi. She had always believed that love should come before marriage, but there was something about his charm that pulled her in. One evening, while Amara was sitting in the courtyard, Neoma approached her with a soft smile. "Sister, don't you see? This is the opportunity of a lifetime. Kofi's wealth can lift our family from poverty. You must marry him. You have my blessing," she said. Amara, though uncertain, took comfort in her sister's words. Neoma's approval meant the world to her. She didn't know then that Neoma's blessing came with a sinister secret. Unknown to Amara, Neoma had made a deal with the village witch, a woman named Omalicha, who was feared and respected in the region for her dark magic. Neoma had promised her soul in exchange for wealth and influence, a promise she would keep, no matter the cost. The witch had a way of manipulating events, casting curses, and ensuring that things went in Neoma's favor. The wedding was set in a grand ceremony with the whole village in attendance. The music was loud, the food abundant, and the celebrations lasted for days. Amara, dressed in the most beautiful gown, walked down the aisle, unaware of the dark forces that were pulling the strings behind her marriage. As the days passed, Amara began to feel a growing unease. She noticed strange occurrences. The shadows seemed longer at dusk. Whispers filled the air when she passed by the villagers, and her dreams were haunted by eerie voices. But it was the sudden, unexplainable illness of her first child that truly shook her. The child, barely 3 months old, became gravely ill, her skin turning pale, her cries echoing with a strange resonance. Doctors and healers from all over the land were called, but none could determine the cause. The village's elders spoke in hushed tones, warning that it was a curse, a punishment for something dark that had been done. It wasn't long before Amara realized that her marriage, her happiness, and the life she thought she had built were all being consumed by something beyond her control. She began to see that Kofi, her supposed protector, was not the man she thought he was. His coldness had deepened, and his eyes no longer reflected the warmth and affection he had once shown her. He had become distant, almost robotic, as if someone else was controlling his every move. In the midst of the chaos, Amara sought out Omalicha, the village witch. The witch, with her eyes glowing a sickly yellow, revealed the truth. "It was your sister, Neoma, who betrayed you. She bargained with me, and I granted her wish," the witch said. Amara's heart sank. Neoma, she whispered, disbelief creeping into her voice. But she's my sister. She loved me. The witch laughed, a deep, throaty sound that echoed through the air. She loves only herself. Your sister sought power, and I gave her what she desired. But there is always a price. Your marriage, your happiness, it was all a part of the deal. The curse will only break when she faces the consequences of her betrayal. Amara's world shattered. The woman she had trusted the most, the one she had always looked up to, has sold her soul for wealth and damn power. The dark forces at play were far greater than she had imagined, and the reality of the curse's hold over her life became all too clear. She knew she had to confront Naoma, but what would she say? Could she even look her sister in the eye? As Amara walked back to her home, her thoughts were filled with rage and heartbreak. She had loved Naoma with all her heart, but this betrayal was beyond forgiveness. But as a child's condition worsened, Amara realized that revenge alone would not save her family. She had to stop the curse, and to do that, she would need to confront the witch, her sister, and the forces of darkness that were destroying everything she loved. If this betrayal shocked you too, hit that like button and subscribe, because you won't believe what happens next.